Hello, hello, hello. I'm Rangru,
And this is Hitman.
and we are doing a 2v2 cast on Opdale.
As you can see, NATO is Irene Clan, which I'm a part of. It's me, Hitman, and Mr.
So, it's been a while.
Yeah, I came back with some milk, cigarettes, and a ticket to Disneyland. Do you want to go to Disneyland?
Hell yeah! Wow, yeah. Your mic quality's gotten better too.
Yeah, that really helps when you have almost a decade of advancement with microphones and growing up a little bit. So
Yeah, same on my end. My going back, I don't know why people watch that crap. The mic quality is terrible.
it's basic supply and demand, and that's why
Mhm.
they still watch you.
Yeah, but yeah, just. Okay, that's just it. Damn. But just as a clarification, me and Nilla did that cast like years ago when you were known as Hitman, and we just did it once, and then we've run our separate ways in life. We've known each other now for like I don't know a year or something like that, and I forgot about that cast, and so because of that, we're here again. Do another Wargame. The sequel this time. It only took us 8 years to get to the sequel. But anyway, the match is beginning. We're on Punch Bowl. This is from the Elite Tournament from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord. Who do we have playing?
Well, Ring, on the left-hand side, we have SandalMan playing as Eurocorps General, and on the right-hand side in red, we have Ghosty playing Entente General as well. And I want to say one thing, too, before we really start getting into the nitty-gritty with this. There was I don't know if you know what it is, but I'm sure people in the audience know I think it's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, where everybody is 6 degrees away of knowing the actor Kevin Bacon. It's essentially what you and I had going on. We hung out in the same team speak after that one cast. We knew each other generally in the Wargame Steel Division community. And then finally one day we're like, hey, let's hang out. And then
Rest
about a few
assistant of my
months.
life.
Yeah, oh, totally. And a few days down the line, you were like, I did a lot of Wargame casts. I'm like, yeah, no shit. I watch your channel. I also did one with you. And you're like, you did? And that's what you saw in the beginning of this video. Ring had no idea that we did a cast together because people change. Apparently.
And here we are. But right off the bat, we got some hot action in Bravo. Both sides going pretty hot and heavy. SandalMan actually trying to go for that Delta push, which I do love seeing. If you can knock down or just neutralize a +2 sector, you can do a whole lot of damage here. But, yeah.
Yeah, when I play ranked war game every once in a while, not super sweaty, but when I get this map, it's punchable, I think. When people rush like SandalMan is doing, I always get really happy because I'm always playing a deck that has some kind of ATGM playing. I'll have whether it be a Peace Pheasant and a Ninja waiting to spot the heavy tanks, the 2A1s in this case. I just roll in with that ATGM plane, knock that shit out, and then it's essentially done because the infantry is not going to support themselves. Those AMX 13s aren't going to support themselves, and the Panther's out of ammo. At that point, just mopping up the infantry with whatever I got. But that's a very basic strategy on a map like this, especially against guys of this caliber, especially in the said tournament, the Elite tournament. I'm sure the tournament speaks for itself.
Yeah, top players from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord. I mean, we've seen SandalMan had to go pretty heavy in tanks. 2 Laboratory ones in the center, and all, grouped up together, yeah. So he's going to be very careful with how he uses them. Fortunately, not a whole lot of anti-tank from, well, Ghosty in this case. Different names and different games makes things rather complex. But all we've seen Reservage spam, and you see it's quite a bit of people spam Reservage. I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, they're cheap and they can hold the line, and the rocket launcher isn't... Okay, it's pretty bad. But they just kind of die.
Yeah, I don't know if it's so much as it's a reservist spam or if it's more of an AMX 13 spam, because that AMX 13 with the 3 front armor and then the 50 cal, that's a super strong meta unit in the game. I'm more of a Steel Division guy myself, but when I play, whenever I have the AMX 13 at my disposal, I abuse it and I use it because it's good. You roll up with 4 of those things with your 50 cal, and especially in team games, is when you get a ton of those with the reservist. It's not the reservist you're calling out. You're calling it the AMX 13 because it takes a RPG shot. It's got a bunch of 50 cals. They can get really, really nasty really fast when you let them snowball. But Ghosty here hasn't let that happen. There's only 1 left alive. So he did a really good job of not letting that fire support in the close town fight get, taken advantage of. But it hasn't really mattered because he's gotten rolled in Bravo up there. What do you think that's the reason for that is? Do you think he's trying to defend Delta?
Yeah, I think he just invested a lot in Delta, and he's got a whole lot in Delta. He's got the AN, he's got the MI-17, Saint Sarv are 2 ANs. So, honestly, I think he's trying to go heavy into Charlie, which is a... I do like it when people play just the North in general, because, like I said at the start of the match, if you can neutralize a +2 sector, and that's easy because the sectors are so big, you can play hide and seek for a CV very easily. You can get like huge dividends off that. Yes, losing Bravo sucks, but that's only a +1 compared to the potential of gaining a +2. But, oh, SandalMan's got the VAB. He's sneaking in.
Yeah, and then I think that Ghosty knows it's coming in. The MI-17 is rushing back to try to deal with it. And one thing that I've noticed too with the callouts from SandalMan is he's recognized what's happening in Delta and Charlie. So he called out the reservists there. He's repositioned his recon tanks, his 2A1s, and he's moving. He's like, shit, there's nothing in the middle. I can tell what's in the middle by the amount of points that's here, the kind of units that's there. There's something somewhere else. It's going to be Charlie and Delta because they're 2-point sectors. And to your point earlier, if he gets a CV in there, starts playing hide and go seek with it, I'm kind of fucked. I'm not going to go down towards Echo and what is that, Foxtrot, and play around in there. They're 1-point sectors with a no man's land in between. So that's the cool thing about watching guys at this high level is they know what certain players are doing against them based off the unit composition that's in front of them and their main engagements.
Oh, the Tiger snipes the CV in Delta, and that is a pretty big snipe. Yeah, real good play.
Oh,
for the
wow.
Power
And then it
Tiger.
takes out the BVP. That's even bigger. So the Tiger's going to get away scot-free after killing 2 pretty expensive units.
Yeah, that was definitely a great player from SandalMan. Didn't even take that much damage. He's out of ammo, but he does have an FOB at base, so he can usually get some R&R, and definitely well deserved, yeah. So, and he's going to be getting a CV into Charlie, so that will allow SandalMan to get that +2 and catch up to Ghosty, because Ghosty already has a pretty good 100-point advantage.
And what's interesting, too, is that Ghosty's confident enough to call another CV to Delta. His play is, I'm going to get that point tick really early on, focus on that, which, you know, that makes sense. He's got an M91A coming in, 4 BVPs with probably Proletary coming in there to go help in Delta. But if you kind of look at the position of the map, I think that SandalMan, compared to Ghosty, has the superior positioning. He's got a CV in Charlie. He's got all of his units repositioned into Charlie. His first reinforcement wave went into Charlie because he won Bravo. So right now, I think, honestly, SandalMan's in a better position than Ghosty is.
Yeah, he's doing really good for himself. I mean, the 2 M84s are really the main firepower here from Ghosty, and they're spread out, so they can easily get, you know, hunted down and destroyed with a lap of 2 A1s and a head-on fight. So he's going to be backing out. And just looking at the map, zooming out, yeah, SandalMan has much more of a concentrated force up north, and just, you know, of course, holding Bravo. That's the, you know, central contested zone, and he has that under lock and key.
And there is a weakness, though, to SandalMan's position, and he notices it. He's pulling the commando pairs back in Bravo because his weak underbelly is going to be the bottom of Bravo itself. We have Ghosty with a drug, ATGM, the Czechoslovakian recon squad, and then some T-55As playing around down there. And we obviously have the hindsight of God vision. Ghosty doesn't, but if he finds out pretty quickly that there's not much in the southern part of Bravo, might be able to sneak a CV in, get a good position to cut off the reinforcements into Bravo and have a good counterattack, because I don't think he's getting into Charlie anytime soon.
No, that's gonna be way too hard for him to do. It's really just playing a fight and retreat. His best bet is just try to secure the valley in between Charlie and Delta. Probably get some infantry in the far north of Delta to secure that village. Because usually, if you're playing the northern side, if you just get into the opposing village up north, you know, set up some defensive positions, you can neutralize the sector easy peasy.
Yeah, and we also have those recon M84s going down as well. That's a massive loss. Both of them are dead. The 2A1s are alive, only one's on half health, and the AMX-13s are still alive. So SandalMan has traded extraordinarily well. He's got positioning. At this point, even though we're not even 10 minutes in, I think it's his game to lose.
Yeah, he's done so well early on here. I think the southern side has been very untouched. Both sides is kind of setting up defensive positions. Ghosty might want to... I do like the idea of pushing to Bravo from the south, but also maybe a push into Echo as well, just try to relieve some pressure up north. Would be a good play, just try to some of that aggression, because, yeah, just up north, this is not looking well for him. SandalMan is going to get into Delta.
Yeah, and the benefit here with Ghosty is he has enough units in Delta to hold, engage, and give a good fight and maybe possibly win. I really think that Ghosty's best play here is to counterattack into Bravo. You have a few squads that are almost dead. You have 2 Legion squads combined for 9 men. You can take those out pretty quickly with that MiG-29 he just dropped a bomb on the reservist with. And then you also have the reservist and 1 other Legion squad. So there's a good chance to counterattack into Bravo and split SandalMan's units in half.
Yeah, that would be definitely a good play here, especially with how focused SandalMan is pushing up north. But also at the same time, he's just having to invest a lot of defenses into Delta, especially along the large border of Delta. He's got the Proletary spread out in the forest, and that's the annoying thing about defending the northern sectors, is they're so big and so wide. You have to, if you want to defend them correctly, you're going to have to invest a lot of units. The main thing, though, is that he does have an M91 vehicle, which could tip the scales in the ground game here, if he can knock out his laboratory ones, but even then, you have to be, super heavy tanks, it's already at half HP, you have to be good with the micro of it, and make sure you don't over-engage, otherwise you lose 170 points of pure Yugoslav meme armor.
Yeah, the paper tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing too,
Yep.
what you just said, the fact that it's half health, SandalMan knows it's there. The fact that it's half health, it's taking hits, it's almost dead. Same with the 2A1. Ghosty knows the 2A1's there. So SandalMan might have a Peace Rhine sitting in his back pocket, ready to send out to go mess with that M91. The Tiger's also there, but there's the Savas sitting next to the M91 to keep them safe. That's why they're there. So there's a couple of, rock, paper, scissors plays going on right here. When somebody commits, somebody's going to lose their tank force, because it's either the M91's going to beat the 2A1s or the Peace Rhine's going to come in and take out the M91A.
Yeah, and that's just always the risky thing about using super heavies. I've actually gone quite off of super heavies recently. I always thought they were the be-all end-all 1v1s, but in the recent replays, I think just regular heavy tanks, like 120, 130 point range, is really the best, because you still get the decent firepower, but if you lose it, you're not completely buggered. Because I've seen matches time and time again where you lose a super heavy in a critical moment, and that's it, you're done. Good game, throw in the towel. Oh, we're seeing the CV being snuck into Delta here, and that'd be a big play here for SandalMan, getting another easy +2.
Definitely, yeah, and he's got the position for it too. He's got commando pairs for the line of sight there. The MiG-29 just came in, dropped bombs on his reservists, so he knows there's nothing in that building complex across the way. And then there's 90 Fallschirmjäger there defending his flank, so he walks that command in. He knows for a fact that he's going to be safe getting into there. Same with the 2A1s on his right flank. So really now it's going to be up to Ghosty to decide, where am I going to counterattack? Am I going to commit to Delta because I have the point advantage? Am I going to counterattack on Bravo? Or will I go and try to break the southern side, which might be happening right now? I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of that unit, but the regular infantry squad with the MG42 and the submachine gun, rolling into Echo. So maybe the play here for Ghosty is to push down south, like we were talking about earlier with the soft underbelly of SandalMan.
Yeah, I think that's definitely what he needs to do, but with the CV up north about to get neutralized, it's really going to force him to his hand onto Delta, because you cannot allow SandalMan to just get a +2 sector like that so easily. And I think if SandalMan plays it right, he can really knock out a lot of units in a, pretty, I'd not say desperate, but forceful attack.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing too. You get that +2 put up against you, you start freaking out. You're like, okay, I don't have a lot of time left. We're halfway through the game. He's got a +2. I can't allow this to happen. When in hindsight, you get Foxtrot and Echo capped and you secure Echo, you're even. But it's easier said than done when you don't have the hindsight that we do with God Vision right now in the replay.
Well, I usually have God Vision when I usually play. I use map packs. It's the only way I have a chance.
How much money do you make from selling those?
I don't sell them, I buy them. I spend like $100 a month. I don't play by Rangru, I go by another name, like Razman, for example.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you would have gone by Nilla.
Nah, Hitman's a cooler name.
Hitman is a cooler name. That
Yeah.
Nilla name's fucking
No,
awful.
yeah, it's awful. Who'd go with that?
There is a
Uh,
big investment going on in Delta, though. There's an M91 V Horde coming in. So I think my point about pushing the south, maybe null and void. Maybe Ghosty thinks, hey, I took what I took. I'm cool with this. What I have here should be enough. I'm going to push to Delta and, stop the 2-point tick like we talked about.
Yeah, and that's a heavy investment with another super heavy being brought out, yeah. If he does the attack, he will be able to knock out laboratory 1s, but there's a lot of open ground. And all it takes is a single piece rain and a side shot, and those M91s are definitely not going to be paper tanks, but more like Rector tanks.
So I know that you and the love of my life, Graham, do a lot of Wargame casts. How often do you guys see CV snipes happening? Because I noticed that SandalMan has a weasel back in his base, kind of around where you might see a helicopter come in.
Oh.
He's got about 4. He's got 4 of them, so that's
yeah.
a decent voice investment. You got what, 15 points each? So
Yeah,
it's a few infantry units.
You see attempted CV snipes. It's not all the time, but it's quite often, especially if the match goes on for quite a while, because people get desperate and, you just need to get some sort of CV kill, whether it's an artillery snipe. But base snipes do happen a lot in 1v1, especially in like high rate to Sheol, where you just have that big open half of the map for the 3v3 version.
Yeah, and to that point too, Gulf is undefended because Ghosty doesn't have the points really right now to invest into base defense. So, and we saw it earlier too in Charlie, those 3 weasels that are in there. SandalMan brought him in because he had won the initial engagement. He said, hey, I'm going to stop that point tick. I'm going to defend my investment. So if SandalMan kind of thinks about it that way or gambles on that being the fact, he might win the game, but that's to be seen.
We are seeing Ghosty make a pretty good push here into down to laboratory 1s, not engaging because those V-Whores are rather scary, but we are seeing SandalMan trying to maneuver around. He's got the Recon Tiger, which could potentially maybe get a shot into the M91. Oh, no, there's the Spat, and he's going to be driving up. But this is so far a decent push here from Ghosty. If he can secure down, so that's going to relieve a lot of pressure off him.
Yeah, and you have the 2 ASFs engaging. The Raphael is going to get the first hit on the L19. L19 goes down. The paper plane dies. The Raphael's taking a bad extract, though, so it might get hit by the Sava. Nope, looks like the Raphael's going to make it out. Yep.
Yeah, that's a bad micro of the L19 turning it away. He needed to just go head on against Raphael and hope for the best.
Yeah, I don't even think Ghosty realized what was happening. He's probably focused on his push there and then looked over and was like, oh, shit. My L19 just died to the Raphael. I'm just out on, 160 points?
Oh.
Yeah, and the issue here, though, for SandalMan is he doesn't have any real firepower to stop the super heavies. But the issue you run into with super heavies is you get kind of timid with them. So you're not going to fully commit to it because of the fear of the Peace Run coming in and knocking out your M91 from the side. So really now, what I think Ghosty needs is some cheap infantry to rush forward and be the meat shield for those 2 super heavy tanks.
Yep, he still has the one final defense, the boss fight of the sector, the 2 Fauchimyagas, and those things will not go down without a fight.
No. Their G11 with its Swiss clock making precision is going to put up a real fight against those proletaries and then those baseline, like I said, not going to pronounce it, Yugoslavian dudes with their MG42s.
They're both using MG42s in their routes.
They are,
funny.
yeah. One's just chambered in the old school Mauser, and then one's chambered in NATO 7.62.
There you go.
It's funny how the Yugoslavians got that in the Mauser.
Well, it worked so well invading their country the first time. They might as well just stick with it.
Yeah, if it's, can't beat them, join them, right?
Exactly. Yeah,
we got the MiG-29 coming in again. The Raphael should be back up. It did take a hit from the L19, so the MiG-29 might be able to get out. What's it doing, though? It's taking a bad approach. That's a miss micro. He was looking at something else while that happened.
Yeah, because he's... Fortunately, there's no AA or air superiority fighter to engage him, because that would have been a perfect time to come in, but he's just trying to get a decent angle, I believe, on the Fauci Makers, which have pulled back a bit, because they were given that heads up, and yeah, they're gonna be fine.
Oh, he missed.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, though, is SandalMan has almost no AA. He has a Gepard covering his flank, and then he has the Crotal with 3 missiles now. So even though Entente doesn't have the best helicopter spam, they have the Mi-17, and then they have the Mi-35. There's not a lot that can be done. And if we look at Ghosty's deck, he's got the Mi-35, but it hasn't been called out yet. And with that deck in mind, the mentality isn't helicopter usage. It's not like the Soviet Union where you get the K-52, you get the K-50. It's Entente. You want to use its tank and its infantry and its air force over its helicopters. So SandalMan, even though they probably don't know what's going on, has an advantage there, and that Ghosty probably won't be calling out helicopters unless it's an Mi-17 with an infantry transport.
Yep, and we're seeing up north here, he does get Ghosty at his, some pretty good engagements, managed to knock out Laboratory 1, his V-Horse took a bit of damage, both on pretty much half HP, so they definitely need a little bit of R&R, but he does secure Delta, and he's getting that +1, because down south, he has managed to capture Foxtrot, and he's got a good foothold into Echo, so if he can secure that Delta side, he can neutralize or capture Echo, and he also has the possibility of neutralizing or capturing Bravo, depending on how far he wants to go. So he does have the opportunity to come back. We're halfway through the match. He's only down 100 points or so. So there's time. He still has time.
And he's about to be a +2. He's got a CV coming into Echo right now. We talked about that earlier. And it looks like SandalMan hasn't reinforced Echo whatsoever. He's got that 1 AMX-10 there. He had the Legion squad earlier die there. So really now he's going to see that Mi-17 come in, cap the sector, and then he's going to lose his mind like Ghosty did earlier with Delta and say, hey, I got a counterattack down there, which leaves the opportunity for Ghosty to counterattack into Charlie, because what's in Charlie? There's Leclerc, there's 2 Fuchs Milans, and a reservist platoon. And that's it right now. So in terms of numbers, we know that Ghosty's up, and we haven't seen a peace run yet. So seemingly, even though that SandalMan has air superiority, there's not a threat in the air right now.
Yeah, he definitely has a good chance. He's moving at the Kirk very aggressively. Yeah, he probably wanted to just pull that back into the deeper forest in Charlie, especially with 2 M91s prowling about.
It's exactly what he's doing too. And the other point too is in Delta, we have the Czechoslovakian mortar to give some smoke support to them 91s, but the Leclerc, it's got a that German 120 millimeter mortar, the HS-30 down south, but it looks like it's pushing its maximum range there with how far south that mortar is for him. So there won't be any smoke support for that Leclerc immediately. So if, a Super Galeb comes in, which is in Ghosty's deck, and he gets a good line of sight on that Leclerc, it could be a disaster for SandalMan.
Yeah, I'm finding it very interesting just how northern focus this match has gone. It's like all about the far northern flanks, which is always an interesting point to fight over because of the +2 sectors, but also how long the supply lines are. The battles can get pretty intense because you can't just quickly reinforce the northern side, but it's very, very bountiful. I mean, Ghosty here has 2 super heavy tanks and a lot of forces. He just needs to get a foothold into Charlie, and he could get a +4 if he does that, which would be nuts. But at the same time, I feel like SandalMan would probably need to start pushing into Echo. He's starting investing quite a bit. 2 Leopard 2A1s, like in Alpha right now, so I feel like he's going to be gearing for that Echo push.
Yeah, he's got the 2A1s sitting in Alpha ready to go, and then he's got the 7 reservists coming in, the AMX-13s there, a Crotal, and then the AMX-10 Arcia down to the south. So if he pushes really hard, he's going to take Echo back. Those BVPs aren't going to be enough to stop the 2A1s, and then you got 70 dudes against 5 in that town, or 10 if you're counting the commander. My money's on the reservists, regardless if the reservists or not. But on the flip side, if Ghosty pushes up north, I think he's got a good chance of taking Charlie, or at least a foothold of Charlie.
Yeah, all he needs is the foothold of Charlie, because then you can neutralize it for the +2. And he still has those 2 sub heavies, which are being repaired. Your SandalMan is getting in some defenses. I mean, Legion 90 is at close range, extremely deadly if he Eric's. He does have those Milan F3s available as well, which are also a very scary ATGM unit, just at a longer range. So I feel like, honestly, I think the northern side is going to be pretty indecisive for the next little bit. I feel like down south is going to be the real kicker here. Because it's that ground between Charlie and Delta, and the defense is being brought in from SandalMan. I don't think the V-Hordes are going to make a good push in.
Yeah, and that's the issue right now for Ghosty is he doesn't have recon to see what's coming in from Alpha, which it's a tall ask for him to get recon to be able to see what's coming in from that supply line in a tournament such as this. They're really good players, so not going to allow that to happen. But he also hasn't reinforced Foxtrot or Echo whatsoever. So when this push commits, it's probably going to wipe Echo out pretty quickly. That's going to be quite a few points lost there. And like you said, pushing up north into Charlie now with all those Legion everywhere and a Leclerc, I think that opportunity for Ghosty really has passed. So I think if we're making it an assumption right now, it's up to SandalMan to understand the ruse and the cards being played up the sleeve and commit. And as I say that, Ghosty realizes, oh shit, I'm getting a counterattack down south, and drops the MiG-29 on him.
Gonna be forcing back laboratory 1s. We got the reserve it making their charge onto Echo the artillery. What is it's just
rocket artillery.
Oh yeah.
M270. What's funny about that, he had to pull it back there to shoot it because it was in its minimum range in Echo.
I was having a hard time finding it, but yeah, it's hidden in the forest, nowhere near the bloody FOB. Oh,
there's the piece, Ryan. Yep, it's going for the T-55 recon tank. Oh, and it's dead. The AMX-10 got it, I think, or the 2A1s did.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a great push here, that reserve. It's even bringing in Falchimiaga 90 as well. He is going to clear up Echo. And because Echo is so close to Foxtrot, there's nothing in Foxtrot. If he pushes right now, he's going to knock out both sectors just like that.
It looks like that's what he's gearing up to do. He's got his Milan, Fuchs Milans up there with the AMX-10 and that recon squad and the VAB-20. The commando pair is ready to go in. What's funny, too, is those Fallschirmjäger 90, they're being brought in that Fuchs Milan. Because up north, he had 2 Fallschirmjäger 90, and they came in a Fuchs Milan as well.
Yeah, that's an odd transport choice for him.
Yeah, is the Fuchs Milan something that you see at this top level? Because when I use it, I never use the Fuchs Milan at all.
It's pretty trash, really. I mean, 15 points for an ATGM isn't terrible, but it's not good. It's not a good ATGM by any stretch of the imagination.
40% accuracy with 17 AP for 15 points on top of infantry unit. I mean, hey, there's a reason he's in this tournament. I'm not. I guess he wants to use it to harass. Because look, he's going to put it on the supply line there, cut off Foxtrot with it. So I guess there's like some 60 chess going on.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, just as a cheap harassment unit after deploying, it's not a bad idea. It's Racine deploying on the supply line. It's only 15 points. Even if you just unload some infantry, I'd still say that's a, a cost benefit.
Yeah, and we're seeing right here that, oh, wow, the Mi-35 just got whacked by that Crotal. That must have been a crit. That was a one-hit kill.
That was, good bloody hit there from the Crotal, and the second CV does go down. The Falchimiagas run such a good defensive position. It was such a decisive push there from SandalMan. Usually I see people attacking the Echo, but then they're just slow. They don't bloody do anything afterwards. But he smelled the momentum that was in the air, and he's managed to knock out both sectors. Think up north, things are starting to develop a bit up north.
Yeah, big committal there by Ghosty. I mean, after seeing your position in the south completely collapse, you just kind of have to say, screw it. I'm going to full send it. We're going into Charlie. And I think that SandalMan's making a mistake by pulling that Leclerc so far back. You got to keep him up front. Let Ghosty know he's here. He's ready to fight. He's going to pop in and out of this force. You're on the assault. So I have the benefit of deciding when I want to engage, because there's that piece Ryan right there going in. You have something that can come in and knock that M91A out. Using that Leclerc to hit, pull back. You keep those M91s in an area where you know where they are. Get a line of sight on it. That piece Ryan's going to take it out.
Yeah, I think this is a very good push here from Ghosty attacking like the big flank of Charlie from the hill, because that's definitely spooked the Clerk from staying in its forest, and he didn't have a whole lot of defenses along the actual hill flank. So we're seeing Ghosty just make really good progress, spreading all over the sector. And once he can very easily get a CV in here now, that's what he's gonna do, and that's gonna be a +2.
Holy shit.
Shit.
Did you see that Bob 30 just knock out that Peace Rhine?
Yes.
It's fully vetted. It knocked that thing out quickly. Hey, if you guys haven't noticed that, I don't play Wargame a ton. I'm a Steel Division guy, but bringing that Spag AA out super vetted apparently right there works really well.
Yeah, I mean, Serbian anti-air is not to be trifled with. Just talk to that Nighthawk.
That kind of hurts as an American.
That's what a shame.
Oh, this is coming down to the wire. Ghosty
Yeah.
and SandalMan, it's blow for blow right now. Great skirmishing pushes by one another. Flanks are collapsing on each other. If I'm SandalMan right now, I'm kind of sweating because my 2-point sector is about to fall.
Yeah, the CV. Oh, it's got spotted. The BVP.
Oh, there's 2 BVPs.
Oh!
Oh, he gets it. Oh, shit.
The Rezo comes in just in the last second, and that is going to be, yeah, +1. The CV is going to walk on in, so that'll be a +3. And it's a great push here from Ghosty. We're seeing SandalMan just fully commit into Charlie right now, bringing everything in the kitchen sink. He's got the Falcon Jagers. He's got the Flag Panzer going in hot, too. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he has to, or he's screwed. I mean, to the point about a few minutes ago when we were talking about it, CV snipes happening. I doubt that's going to save SandalMan right now because Gulf, there's some Proletary 90 sitting in those buildings in front of the CV. Unless, I don't know, some kind of bombing run or artillery strike happens in Gulf, that CV is not dying. And looking here at SandalMan's deck, there's no bombers. It's only ASFs and AT planes. It's up to SandalMan to win on the ground right now. There's not a ton of fire support from the air in his deck.
Yeah, just considering the time left in the match, SandalMan's not going to be able to regain the momentum of North here and Charlie. It's such a huge sector. There's so many forests you have to clear through. And as you can see, Ghosty just has so many units all around, including those super heavies, which make things tough. He still has the southern sector. He can still capture Foxtrot. But from Foxtrot, he can't really do much. He can, clear up Bravo and get a CV in the air. Maybe go into Gulf if he's, like, really desperate. But losing the +2 sector of North hurts.
Well, we have our heroes here, the Fuchs Milan going in to go snipe the CV in Gulf. I mean, it could happen if Ghosty doesn't notice what's going on. Those MG3s could do it. I doubt it. He's a brigadier general. He knows what he's doing. This could get crazy here in the next couple of minutes.
He gets CV, yeah. If he gets CV snipes with MG3s,
because the CV could go down in Gulf. There is a Fuchs Fufu going into Foxtrot, and he just stopped the double tick in Charlie. If he gets a CV for Bravo and takes out Gulf, he could make it happen. But
oh my
here
God.
it goes.
The Proletarian doesn't even notice.
No idea.
Holy
a 2
crap.
man, it's gonna happen. They're stunned. Wow. Holy shit. No. Right now, Ghosty is pissed. He just dropped 300 points on a push into Bravo to keep it from getting capped. Right now, if you're SandalMan, you get that CV into Foxtrot, you get that CV into Bravo, and you get some cheesy stuff going into Gulf.
As Rot, Ghosty's going to have to move the CV off Delta. It's an infantry
it's
CV.
It's an infantry CV,
He doesn't
and
have...
the MI-17's repairing.
Yeah. That MI-17 needs to go back and just pick that guy up. And even then, if it moves off Delta, that's a +2 sector, man. SandalMan's going to be getting like a +3 at that point. So this is a great comeback.
If Ghosty kills that Mi-17 with those Fuchs Milans, because it's landing, he get hit with the Milan. Ghosty's screwed. Ghosty's done. And look at SandalMan. SandalMan knows tactically, he knows what's going on. He's like, all right, Milan F3, move up, cut off the reinforcement road. I know it can only go down that road out of Delta. We just have to cut it off. Raphael's in the sky. If you see a transport chopper in the sky, you have to kill it with that Raphael. You know that's a CV getting picked up. You take it out. That's the game. He knows it. Like, this is his point to win right now.
Yeah. Who would have thought the goddamn Fuchs Milan would be such a clutch unit?
we're talking about all this CV sniping. Will it happen? Will it not happen? These guys are such high level. Ghosty ends up defending a CV. There's this shitty unit, the Fuchs Milan, that's being used. Who uses that piece of crap? It snipes the CV. Hey, anything can happen any given game.
Yeah, and just you see, just spending a little bit on base defense. Yes, he had the proletaries, but they weren't in position. Just some cheap vehicles would have saved that embarrassment. We're seeing the T-55s come in, getting their revenge, but those Fuchs Milan have already paid themselves off in the end some.
So what's the play here by Ghosty then? Is he going to let that tick happen?
This is weird because he's not moving back at CV yet. I think he's just trying to clear out Golf and secure it first before moving the CV on. But he needs to get that CV back into Delta.
Because he has 2 CVs. If he loses one in Charlie or one in Delta while holding the cap, the worst he can have right now is a +2. So long as SandalMan doesn't cap Bravo. So time is of the essence right now for Ghosty. Ghosty has the lead. He needs to get that CV back into Golf as soon as possible. And once he caps Golf, because he's going to have a huge just pile of points there, buy a CV, get it into Delta just as quick as he can. Because if he doesn't, Ghosty might be able to bring this back.
I don't think he's moving at CV on purpose because he just wants to let it go to a +1 tick, but that's not a good idea because Bravo can still be captured and bring it to a +2. He needs to just bite the bullet, take the bleed, and get into Golf. And it seems like what he's doing, the MI-17, is moving up into Delta, but it's still going to take like a minute or two to get back into Golf, and I think that's going to secure the victory for SandalMan. This has happened way too late into the game here.
Yeah, and I don't know why SandalMan hasn't called out a CV for Bravo. Because he has an infantry CV left, because he's only called out 2 infantry CVs, I believe.
I think it's just trying to really clear out Charlie. He's spending a lot of points up here, but as you see, Ghosty is very well defended in that sector, so he's not going to be able to get cleared out anytime soon, even with Falchimiaga's moving through. OP Shrine comes in, doesn't really do anything. Wow. That's...
It doesn't matter how well you fought with your super heavies, what your air micro was, your unit composition. You go toe-to-toe like that and somebody snipes your CV, you're kind of screwed.
That's right, you have base defense.
Exactly.
Yup. God damn, I'm still just kind of blown away. It's not even just killing the CV with the Fuchs Milan, but just the timing of everything. Because he's just completely screwed over Ghosty here. Because we've seen the MI-17 land in Delta, but he still hasn't moved it onto the point yet, so... Yeah, and that's going to be like another minute before he gets onto Golf, and then... Yeah, +3, that's it. That's it.
Well, and it wouldn't be an issue, too, if Ghosty had killed the CV and Charlie, that Fuchs Fufu.
Mm-hmm.
If he had taken Bravo, and he had that southern flank there could have been a possibility of sniping that CV. But just the little things like that, there's so many unintended consequences you can run into in a game like at this high of a level, where it leads to from one thing to another, and that's that. And you can see right now, Ghosty's like, oh, fuck it, I just have to send it. Like, I can't do anything. It's not going to be a draw at this point. He's got the lead at a +3 with 230. It's done if I don't, sniper CV right now.
Yeah, and he spots a CV in Charlie, so I'm for the M270 or something to just come around and blap it out of that sector. Yeah, the CV is moving back into Golf, but it's way too late. SandalMan has he's going to get such a huge point lead at this point. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be it, but we'll see if Charlie can be held. The clerk's coming in hot.
Yeah, that really came down to just, if you're talking about American football inches, it's coming down to seconds. Really, really well played by SandalMan.
Yeah, just absolutely clutch play. That's one thing I really do love about casting Wargame. It's just those small little things can make such a huge difference. Just those small maneuvers and unintended consequences, like you were saying. And there's a GG, and a pretty standard 1000 KD difference, yeah, but by God, what a match.
Absolute great match. Yeah, and one thing too, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna, you guys project my American bias, but with a name like Enter the SandalMan, I got a feeling he's an American guy. So feels pretty good for me seeing an American guy win the game.
Yeah,
That
you got-
Metallica reference, there's no way he's not an American guy.
But yeah, just I don't know what to really say. The match really speaks for itself. Just fantastic play from both sides.
Yeah, and it's not your big names like Razman or Putin or Firestarter, but at that level, at that point, at that high, it really is just on the margins, right? Like those guys can do stuff like that, and you see really crazy plays like that where a unit that you know, as a decent player would look at and be like, why would I bring the Fuchs Balan? The top tier guys are like, there's utility to it, and we saw it there, and not even for the reason that it might be used with the Milan. It could have been a normal Fuchs, and shit, it would have done the same thing.
Oh, well, I'm taking Fuchs Milan now in my decks.
Yeah, with the Fallschmiger 90.
With Fallschmiger's 90, of course. If I just copy the decks exactly of these high-level players, I'll become really good without needing my map hacks.
Yeah, hey, maybe that'll be the way you get good at the game.
Oh my God. I just have to copy people.
It's only taken almost 10 years.
But on a note, do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, just go watch Graham's stream for Steel Division and Warno.
Yeah, you could do that, I guess. That's always an option available. But
it is an option, yeah.
It is an option. But apart from that, thanks once again for joining me, Nilla. We'll do another cast in 8 years or so from now, so I hope you be ready for that. And,
yeah, I'll see you in 2030.
Yeah, see you in 2030. Till then, thank you very much for watching, guys. And as usual, please, Jess, take it easy.
Yeah, I usually go negative since I'm always just throwing stuff at the enemy while Luke's picking him off.